Your destination is on the left.
Here's Corin. On the video. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Tired, but I'm hanging in there.
Yeah.
I almost answer every single question with tired these days. I'm Corin.
Hi, I'm Melissa.
Melissa.
Yes.
Wonderful to meet you. Thank you so much for coming out here and contributing your time and whatever knowledge we can squeeze out of you for the Love America tour. I like to start things off by getting to know you a little bit better with some of the simple things like where were you born?
Kenosha, Wisconsin.
Kenosha, Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
No idea where that is.
North of Chicago, about an hour.
Oh, is it? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay. And how long did you live there?
About 18 years.
Oh, you lived there you did the full stretch.
My first husband was military, so we kind of traveled.
After high school.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, so you were in what was the name of it again?
Kenosha, Wisconsin.
Kenosha. You were in Kenosha from. Sorry about the beeping in the background. It'll go away. It shouldn't be too loud on here, so we'll ignore it. You just ignore it with us. Was it a really small town?
No, about 100,000.
Oh, 100,000, really?
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
bigger
that's
now,
big.
but
Right. Yeah, no, that's big. I've interviewed some people who are from towns with like 1,400 people, which that's like what?
yeah.
What was it like growing up there?
A lot of farming. I grew up on a farm. Cows,
Okay.
pigs, garden, the whole spiel.
Yeah, yeah. So your father was a farmer.
No, my grandfather.
Grandfather was a farmer.
Mm-hmm.
Your father? He didn't take up the sickle?
No.
No. But you lived out on the family property.
Yeah, I
on
was
the
raised
farm.
by my grandparents.
Oh, you were?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you don't mind me asking, was that to make things a little easier on your parents, or was it just a better place for you to be at the time?
Yeah, better place to be.
Gotcha. Well, it's interesting because I was talking the other day about there is a tradition with a particular tribe in Africa where they actually have reversed everything, and when the younger people have the children, their parents raise the children, and they just go and take care of everything that needs to be taken care of to provide for the family. And then when they get old enough and their children have children, then they become the parents of those children. So the grandparents raise the children, and the parents do everything they have to do to take care of the family, doing all the work and the manual labor because they need to spend as much time as possible doing that kind of stuff.
Share the knowledge.
And then by the time they get mature enough, then they become, I thought it was just a fascinating way of doing it.
That is fascinating.
But that said, not to go too far off track with it, how was it growing up with your grandparents?
I mean, pretty normal as far as you get up, you do chores, you get everything ready for the day, then you go to school. Then when you come home, then you're doing more chores, and then, schoolwork and sleep.
Yes, of course. So you participated in some of the stuff around the farm?
Oh, yeah, milking the cows and feeding animals.
Well, that said, two questions. What was your least favorite thing to do?
Milking the cows and feeding animals.
And what was the thing you enjoyed, actually?
Seeing things grow when you plant them. The fruit of your labor, I guess you could say, the vegetables and everything, and then canning it all, and it's kind of cool.
Yeah, that is very cool. That is really cool. And it's important to know that, to know how to do that kind of stuff.
Sure.
As well. When what kind of parents did your grandparents become for you? Or were strict,
They were
nurturing?
well, there was such a big generation gap.
Oh, that's so noisy back there. They're killing me. I can't believe this. So it's been so quiet here the whole time we've been,
Of course.
like relaxing and waiting, but we're gonna go for it anyway. So
they were restrict, big
Uh-huh.
age difference. I mean, they were in their 60s, and I'm 13, 14 years old. So, real old school, just real traditional.
yeah.
So it was hard in high school with the sports and everything, and being so old-fashioned.
Well, that said, so did you spend a certain amount of your younger years with your natural parents? So you went straight from baby to
Well,
grandparents,
I
or?
was probably 10 until I was 15,
Okay.
living with my grandparents. Kind of had, there was a situation where me and my brother and sister were abandoned for about 6 months.
Really?
And I was 10 trying to take care of them.
Ouch.
So that's how that came about.
And we obviously don't have to get into too much detail. I know it's an emotional and touchy subject to go back to and look at. The without getting into the dark times of those first 10 years, was it a relief to go to your grandparents?
No, it was scary because
Mm.
I was 10. You don't know what's in store for you, really. It was really hard because here you are, a kid with your dad, and then everything's normal, and then bam, things just progressively got worse, and then there's nobody there, and you're trying to figure it out. And
With siblings, with
yeah,
two
my
siblings.
brother was 7 or 8, and my sister was 5.
And how, at 10 years old, how on earth were you able to take care of them?
Well, at first we tried to keep going to school. Back then, they had truant officers, so if you didn't go to
Sure.
school, they would come. So you try to keep things as normal as possible. That was the only meal we had. So you did as much as you could, and then after we stopped going to school, because we didn't have the clean clothes and that kind of stuff, so we were embarrassed. So when the truant officer would come, we'd hide in the basement. And then I guess eventually they finally got a hold of my grandparents, my father's parents, and they broke in and got us and took us in.
Yes, I can imagine that would be very scary, but I just can't imagine at 10 years old having the ability, even the character, even the wherewithal to take care of two younger kids. You're not even old enough to take care of yourself.
I don't know. I've always been told I have a very nurturing personality. Always want to take care of everybody else. So I guess it just kind of clicked.
Yeah.
It just, you have to. You don't have a choice. I wasn't worried about myself. I was worried about my brother and my sister. So that's all you think about.
And did that continue when you did you end up having a that kind of a relationship with your younger siblings, carrying on through that? Like, were you extra sensitive about what was going on with them from that point forward?
Yes, I was very, very, very protective of anything with them, even little things. I'll take care of it. You guys, okay, yeah, we're living here, my grandparents, but they're my responsibility. That's what I always felt.
Wow.
So if they got onto about it, just being strict or whatever, I'd be like, whoa, 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 I'll take this, kind of thing. But eventually, you kind of relax a little bit. But I always, even to this day, are they okay? Do I need to be there for them? Is there something I
Yeah.
need to take care of? But I guess it was just natural.
When you look back on that time period, do you think that even as difficult and as traumatizing as it was, I'm sure, did you glean anything out of that turned into a positive for you in life?
I mean, now that I know, I don't remember a lot then, but now I look back and I think I'm a better person because of it. I really makes me happy to make other people happy, whatever they need.
Yeah.
I don't know how it would have been if that wouldn't have happened, kind of thing. I just felt like I needed to be there, step in, and take over and help. But that's one of my biggest things. I want to help.
It's just a man. It's a deep story. When you got back into school again and things started to normalize for you, what was it like not having your actual parents in your life during those very critical years of maturation, when you're coming into being a teenager and
Sure.
going into that?
I felt lost a lot. so maybe that's why I poured myself in so much into my brother and sister and helping on the farm and things like that. I did sports. I was in some clubs, but I never felt like I was a part of that because I needed to be there for my brother and sister. Uh, I mean, I tried to be as normal as a teenager as I could. I ended up on my own when I was 16, living on my own, going to school, had an apartment, that kind
Wow.
of stuff. So
Wow. So at 16, you you got your own went and you got your own apartment. Did you have a roommate, or
yes,
we'll
I
just let
had.
this truck drive by
Sure.
real quick. It's gonna be a growler. There goes the noisemaker.
I ended up with a roommate and worked at a fast food restaurant and went to school.
And so you were still going to school. You
Oh
still
yeah, I
maintained going
graduated.
to school.
Yes, I did.
And what made you want to get out on your own? What was the
I didn't
catalyst
have
for
a
that?
choice. My grandfather was very abusive,
I see. I see.
very
I see.
abusive, and I think he was really angry at the whole situation of having to take care of me and my brother and sister. I think so. I was the oldest, of course, and it got taken out on me. Um, so I couldn't take it anymore. I just couldn't.
How was it leaving your siblings behind?
Very hard. Very, very hard. That was the only reason why I was staying as long as I did.
Yeah.
Um, but I felt like I was losing myself if I stayed any longer, so I left.
And did you go into? It sounds to me at this point that even through all of these traumas and dark times, you seem to be able to hang on to your character.
Well, yeah, because other people have it worse than I do, and so you can't dwell on that. Yeah, I was sad. I was depressed. Things happen. Um, but I never did drugs. I never got into any big trouble or anything like that.
See, that's incredible.
But other people have it worse.
Well, but that's just what's interesting to me is that the normal knee-jerk reaction for young kids, I know from my own experience and all of that, is rebellion and running away from all of the pain and everything, and filling that void with whatever it is,
Sure.
whether it's getting involved in gangs or drinking or using drugs or whatever other misbehaviors
Sure.
there might be. That tends to be the traditional route that's
Right.
taken. What do you think it was about your character that kept you from going off the rails?
Well, fear, I guess.
Mm.
Drugs weren't a big thing when I was in high school, and if you were doing it, you didn't talk about it, kind of thing. I graduated high school in '86, so it just you just didn't talk about it. The fear of getting caught, getting into trouble, kind of thing, scared me to death. So I don't want any part of that.
Right. So then, having taken on so much responsibility, I guess going and getting a job and still maintaining school, having all of everything that you had to do leading up to that must have been easy. In comparison, maybe.
No, it was really hard.
Was it?
I mean, you're an adult. You're paying bills. You're buying groceries. You're trying to balance trying to be a kid, go to school, and being the adult of the responsibilities that you have. The kids don't realize these days. So it was. It wasn't all bad. It wasn't all good. There was some hard times.
Sure.
You know, uh, taking food at the fast food restaurant so I could eat.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
I guess I did do some bad things.
Yeah.
But it was never to hurt
Well,
anybody.
if stealing food to feed yourself is the worst that you went, I'd say that you're still right up there on top
I
of
mean,
the
it
list
was
of
never
doing
to
it right.
do and make any money or to hurt anybody.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. Like I said, it was always a fear. The little bit the values that I did get, that's, treat people the way you want to be treated, kind of thing. Don't steal, don't do drugs, so that just.
Now, having that kind of innate sense of a moral compass, Was that instilled in you at all, or is that something you came to naturally?
Um, well, I want to say it was more naturally than anything because I had a really crappy childhood.
Yeah.
Really crappy. I mean, I could probably write 5 books, but but it is what it is. Like I said, I always thought that someone else has it worse. So yeah, there's a time to be sad and about what's going on in your life, but you've got to move on because you're not sitting somewhere isn't going to get you anywhere.
True. Well, when you got to that age, when you're about to cycle out of high school, did you start having an idea of what you might be able to do for a living, or did you have a plan, or college? Or?
I wanted to do all of that. I worked in a recruiting office when I was a senior in high school, the naval recruiting office, and I ended up joining the Navy, what they call delayed entry program, because I wasn't old enough yet. I was still in high school. So I thought, well, I'm going to work in the recruiting office and get familiar with it. Well, I ended up getting pregnant. And I didn't tell the father, of course, and here I was like a couple months away from shipping out for boot camp.
Oh my.
And I'm like, I can't go this way. And so I ended up telling, because I couldn't go.
Yeah.
Ended up getting married at 18, having a baby. Was married to a Marine. So 2 hours after I had our daughter, he shipped off for 18 months to Cuba.
Wow.
So here I am alone in the northern woods in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of uphill battles. Was married for a week, had a baby, and then was alone for 18 months.
Well, that said, having gone from all of the dark times you had growing up, when you did have that baby in your hand, that child there, was it an awakening moment for you of like, you can do better for this life
Yes.
than was done for you?
I was scared because I knew that he was going to have to leave. But I thought, I could do this. It's her and I. We can conquer anything. I'm not going to say it was easy.
No, of course not.
But I raised a beautiful human being. So she's amazing, and so is my son. It was hard. Excuse me, I'm going to get emotional.
It's okay. I've been getting emotional this whole time.
My kids are amazing.
Yeah.
So he saved my life.
How's that?
Because they're so wonderful. They keep me
Yeah.
going. They keep they're good kids. They've got good grades in school. They're outstanding human beings. They're just amazing. They're just really amazing.
Well, and that's where I want to get into what you're doing now.
Oh.
Because
My
actually,
life led up to
well,
this.
That's
is what it
that's
did.
that's what I can tell. I can totally see it now.
Mhm.
And what was to wrap up the relationship with you? Are you and your husband still together?
No.
Okay. But was it an amicable separation? Was it okay? or
No,
was
but we were so young. I
Yeah.
mean, we didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah.
We were kids ourselves. I think we were 24 when we got divorced. My daughter's 33 and my son is 30, so
Yeah.
it's been a minute.
Yeah.
But
you were a single mom.
for a while, and then I
For a
got
while.
married again.
Okay.
Then I was married for 28 years.
Was that a good relationship up to then? No.
No, that's recent. It's
Gotcha.
been about a year.
Gotcha.
So-
Gotcha.
But that, I think my whole life of going through the abuse and mental and physical and sexual abuse that a lot of kids go through, it just led all up to this.
And let's talk about what is this.
Oh,
This
I'm
is
still
exciting.
I'm not in Abaca anymore. I had to give it up for personal reasons,
Uh-huh.
but I'm very passionate still
Well, let me
about
see
it.
what this is right here.
That
so,
is a vest
so we
that
can.
we give a kid.
This is a vest for the kids. Can you tell us what BACA means?
It's Bikers Against Child Abuse.
Bikers Against Child Abuse. It says, warning, the Surgeon General has determined it is hazardous to mess with a BACA child. This is a really great vest, and it's beautiful. And how did you get involved with this group, Bikers Against Child Abuse?
Well, about 8 or 9 years ago, my husband and I were looking we wanted to be a part of something that was going to make a difference. we ride motorcycles, so we just didn't want to ride. We wanted to do something special. So my husband started doing some research and came across this organization. And we went to a couple of meetings, and we really liked what was going on because it's just not local. Baca is international.
Wow.
There's, I believe, 40 to 60,000 members across the
Oh, that's fantastic.
internationally. Baca empowers children so they can feel safe in the world around them, so they can tell their story. So basically, we go in and talk to them, see if what we do can help them, and we go to court with them. We're there to make a presence for that child, nothing else. Not to threaten the defendant or anything, just to show support. So that child's already scared. They're tattling on an adult, so they're already scared. So they see us and they see that we're there just for them.
Yeah.
And so it helps them so that they can testify.
Oh, that's beautiful.
It's amazing. We have to protect our children and our future.
You're absolutely right.
I'm just super passionate about it. I was the child liaison for almost 8 years, which means I get all the hotline calls. I do set up all the home visits and organize all the levels that what we would have to do with the child.
Yeah.
And to be able to see a child from the beginning when you get that first phone call to the end when they don't need you anymore is absolutely amazing.
It's got to be.
A scared child who's hiding behind their guardian or parent, when you first see them, to when you would ride up on your motorcycle just to do a visit and they come barreling out of the door screaming, they're here, they're here,
so
and
lovely.
wrapping their arms around you. I mean, it's that right there is payment for everything. That made everything that happened to me my entire life just
Makes sense.
moot.
Yeah,
I mean,
moot,
just doesn't.
What's one of the most touching moments that occurred for you with the success of this? You know, the kids that you helped out. What was one of the more powerful success stories that came out of that?
Gosh, there's so many. I think it would be my very first being able to see you when you become when you first start in Baca. You're a supporter.
Uh-huh.
You just get you have to pass a background check.
Yep.
And you can't be what they call a primary for a child yet. You have to pass training and the whole bit, and you get the big back patch and all that. You have to earn that. You have to show that why you're there is for them and not anything else. And once you go through all that, a vote's taken, and then you can become a primary. My first child, it wasn't little. She was older, and it was hard because it was a family member. But everything that we went through together, it was new to me, of course. Everything that you're going through isn't in the books that you learn.
Right.
So you ask a lot of questions. But anyways, finally got everything through it. Did the court. I think the best thing was when they were sentencing the perpetrator. And it just so happened where we were at, the court was on the second level and it overlooked the jail across the parking lot. So to watch her in the window, standing next to her, seeing them taking him in handcuffs, and you could see the relief and her finally feeling safe, I think that was the best thing ever.
Absolutely.
I think that was the best thing ever. You can see it in their face, or
Yeah.
after
You can feel it.
well,
in their
after
presence,
they testify, they leave the courtroom.
Yeah.
And so you walk out with them, and as soon as the doors close, they're like,
Wow.
it's amazing.
That's
It's amazing,
incredible.
and to be a part of that, there's nothing better.
What else do we have here? We have
Well, it's one of the things that we give the kids. It's a bear, and what we do is we bring that with them, with
Uh-huh.
us when we give it to them, and each of us hug it, and we fill it full of love and hugs, and
The
we give
love
it to
bear.
the child, and we tell them, if you need a hug the bear, and we're hugging you, and if it ever runs out, we'll come back and fill it up.
I love you, little bear. He's so cute. Look at that little bear.
Yeah, they it's just just something, and we give them a blanket so they can cover themselves up.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like
that's
a little
beautiful.
backpack of little things. In fact, I did bring you. We can get it out here. Sorry.
That's no problem.
A bracelet
Oh, look at that!
and some
Wow.
tattoos that we hand.
Yeah,
That
this is
when I was in
great.
Baca, we'd hand out to kids.
This is great. I love it. And what else do we have here in this neat little pile?
Oh, it's just our mission statement.
Would you mind if I read it?
Oh, go ahead.
I would love to give this a read to everybody.
Try
So,
to make it big for old eyes.
I appreciate it because I can't read menus anymore. This is Bikers Against Child Abuse. Everybody who's out there, if there's any way that you can support this, I think that it is a great organization to support. Bikers Against Child Abuse, or BACA, exists with the intent to create a safer environment for abused children. We exist as a body of bikers to empower children to not feel afraid of the world in which they live. We stand ready to lend support to our wounded friends by involving them with an established, united organization. We work in conjunction with the local and state officials who are already in place to protect children. We desire to send a clear message to all involved with the abused child that this child is part of our organization and that we are prepared to lend our physical and emotional support to them by affiliation and our physical presence. We stand at the ready to shield these children from further abuse. We do not condone the use of violence or physical force in any manner. However, if circumstances arise such that we are the only obstacle preventing a child from further abuse, we stand ready to be that obstacle. That is beautiful. You know, there's a group of Navy SEALs who have a similar kind of
Oh, really?
movement like this as well. I can't remember the Veterans for Child Rescue.
Oh, wow.
It might be a good thing to team up with BACA and the Veterans for Child Rescue. Might be a really good joint effort. This is a beautiful mission
Thank you.
statement. What else is over there?
I believe this is a thank you letter from just a random person.
Would you be okay to read that?
Sure.
Let me get this out.
I wanted to write you a note to thank you for what you do for kids whose lives have been touched by abuse. I watched a video on YouTube and seen you amazing people do. It brought tears to my eyes. I'm a survivor of child abuse and I know the feelings these kids have. You give them protection and someone to trust in. And it shows how important these kids are to you. I'm so grateful for BACA and what you stand for. I know God has very special crowns for you.
Yeah.
Know that I'm praying for you and the kids. May God bless you and hold you in his loving arms. Matthew 18, 1-5.
What a beautiful, beautiful letter from LaShane Reynolds. I really, we pray
and it's
that
somebody
you are,
from North Carolina. It's not
Yeah.
even from around here.
Yeah. Well, we definitely pray that this young lady's life has been blessed and that she's doing great today. It's incredible handwriting and really, really beyond touching, beyond touching. Wow. And is there one last item in there?
No, it's just the same thing as.
It's okay.
yeah.
Gotcha. You know, on a final note to wrap it up, what advice could you give to young people who are scared, afraid, looking for a way out, and then couple that with what advice could you also then give to an adult who's aware of some abuse that's happening but doesn't know what to do about it?
Well, for kids, I just have to say, don't give up. Don't ever give up. You're not alone. There are resources out there. I know it's hard. Experiencing all that I did when I was in BACA, it's hard for the kids. They're threatened, or a family member's threatened, or there's somebody's threatened in their life, or they're actually threatened not to tell. But please don't give up. Please reach out to an adult, a counselor at school, a police officer, or if you can find a BACA member. Don't ever give up, because there is something better out there. You can make it. You can do it. I believe in you, and there's millions of people that'll believe in you.
Yeah. And you're living proof.
Yeah.
That you
I
can
mean,
make it.
I'm by no means perfect. I'm still learning things. I'm 52 years old.
Sure.
But I am a firm believer in treating people good. To put in what you expect out of it. No, not everybody's gonna be like that, but pick your battles, kind of thing.
Exactly.
For the adults, I forgot what.
Well, if there's someone out there who might have very strong suspicions or direct knowledge that there's a child that's being.
Find somebody.
Okay.
Call somebody.
Yeah.
Awareness. That's one thing that BACA during April is Child Abuse Awareness Month. So they'll go to Walmarts and stores and things like that, and they hand out pamphlets and things. Awareness is the most important thing with anything, though.
Yeah.
With abuse, whether it's for adults or children, don't walk by if you see something. No, maybe you can't get involved because it could be dangerous for you, but tell somebody.
Yeah.
Because it could make a difference in that person's life.
Absolutely.
Whether they live or not, or mentally live or not mentally. One act of kindness does amazing things for anyone. A smile when you're walking through the store, acknowledging somebody's presence. We're losing a lot of that.
Yes, absolutely. That's what this show is about. Breaking that ice again.
Especially when we go places and wearing the mask, it's really hard to do that smile. And
exactly.
So I've been trying to make it a point to say, hey, how are you? Have a great day.
Exactly.
Even if somebody's, just trying to make them smile. You might have just saved that person from an anxiety attack or something else. It just makes a difference to open your heart and not to be selfish.
You know what? That is a perfect moment to stop on, and we should all chew on that, and we should all be more conscious of those around us, and open our hearts, and reach a hand out and tell somebody to have a lovely day.
Thank you. You have a great day.
I will, and thank you so much for joining us on the Love America Tour.
Thank you.
Fantastic, and don't forget, support BACA. Google them, look them up, and support them. Well, that is fantastic. Let me hold that for you while you climb up.
Thank you.
Yeah, you betcha. And thank you again so much. I mean,
I'm so glad you guys are doing what you're doing. It's so important.
Do we hug?
Yes, of course. I'm a hugger.
I love it. Me too.
Thank you so much.
You bet, babe.
Thank you.
You bet. Cheers.